Education is a solid foundation for any country's development, and it should be at the heart of national ambition. In Nasarawa State, Governor Abdullahi Sule is spearheading a revolution in the education sector by improving the welfare of teachers, upgrading learning facilities and infrastructure, increasing the budget for education with a system powered by technology at all levels. Whether it is basic education or tertiary institutions, the state government is leaving nothing to chance to ensure that sustainable development is realized through quality education. Hello and welcome to Nasarawa Focus. My name is Godwin Agwa. Education is widely adjudged as the strongest instrument for achieving poverty reduction, peace and stability, and a powerful driver of development. This informs the postulation by pundits that if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Upon assumption of office, the Abdullahi Sule's administration placed so much importance on education, given the essential nature of the sector. This perhaps necessitated the increase of the sector's budget from 20.6% in 2019 to 35% in 2022. This is geared towards setting the sector on a path to serve as a vehicle towards achieving an enlightened, skilled, and self-sustaining state.
His Excellency came with the commitment to turn around the provision in the education sector in the state, and this has been demonstrated right from the provision in the annual budgets of the state, where education continued to be a priority, and he has demonstrated this by providing the financial backing to the approvers to ensure that whatever is proposed is also executed. The National Universities Commission had visited some of the programs that were due for accreditation, and I am happy to note that all the programs that were presented for accreditation, 8 of them scaled through accreditation without any serious shortcoming.
In order to achieve these goals, the administration commenced a revolution in tertiary institutions across the state. The Isa Mustafa Agwai Polytechnic in Lafia was hitherto regarded as a glorified polytechnic due to its inability to secure accreditation for engineering and science courses. But the support of the state government came handy in procuring equipment for the polytechnic workshops and labs, which enabled it to secure accreditation.
Of course, for the Isa Mustafa Agwai Polytechnic, also, that is an institution that over years had been having issues with its accreditation. And when this government came on board, we felt the need to ensure that we turn around the institution. And this was done first by amendment to the Polytechnic Act to bring it in line with the current practice. And then, aside from that, principal officers were appointed for the institution through a rigorous selection exercise, and with the management in place, His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule, the governor, gave the management and the governing council marching order to ensure that all programs are accredited in the institution. And again, the institution was also supported in terms of provision of human and material resources. And at the last visitation by the National Board for Technical Education for the accreditation of the National Diploma and Higher National Diploma programs in the institution, 17 programs were presented. And out of the 17 programs, 11 scaled through and they secured full accreditation, while 2 of them got interim accreditation. So I can say 13 programs went through because they could come on, admit students for the program, while 4 of them we are still working on them.
He didn't just give a marching order. He didn't just pronounce. He matched the order with action. First thing he did was to ensure that our ICT is well equipped. As it is right now, our ICT is one of the best in the whole of the state. I think the best in all the institutions for now. The Polytechnic is now visible. If you go online, you will see us. We are visible now. If you must be on campus, it's just to come and attend classes. But every other thing, you can do it from wherever you are in the world. Our library, he had ensured that he has supported us to upload e-library. We have 24 hours light inverter, solar, we have 24 hours light. He has given us approval to recruit, which we have just rounding up now. We have recruited new staff to man all these things. Engineer A.A. Sule, he ensured that the promotion arrears we've been expecting, he has paid up to date. We are up to date in our promotion. He has ensured that staff welfare, like we had issues with the assessing of TED fund training program, but he has ensured and supported us in clearing all those issues. And so the staff welfare is paramount.
The School of Engineering of the Polytechnic has now been repositioned. Asuko Good News and Yakubu Fatima are two female civil engineering students. They are also happy with the state government for providing facilities to aid their learning.
The facilities are quite incredible, actually, and we can actually be able to compete with people from other institutions. Maybe when they are talking about things, we can actually put our own contribution, will not be dumbfounded and confused at the situation on ground. So I'm very glad. I'm so opportune to be able to have those kind of facilities here, and it's wonderful.
Well, I feel so glad and opportune because I will be able to use some of the equipment, because as a diploma student, like, it's going to help me a lot.
Similar support was also given to the State College of Agriculture, Lafia, and the College of Education in Akwanga.
With the College of Education Akwanga, which coincidentally happens to be my local government, one of the focus that we had was to ensure that we now look at, the number of students we are actually bringing into that institution and the kind of teachers we have. Because today, one of their biggest problems in that institution is having the qualified teachers for the various courses that they are having. So I have been to the institution. I met with them twice, with the management. I met with the students. I had their complaints. And we understand some of their programs that they are facing with the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, which is also another difficult one because it's so difficult most of the times, coordinating accreditation of the various courses that they have. And it is one of the institutions that we are hoping, if the federal government is going to have a federal university of education, that will be an ideal institution that should be converted to a federal university. We are trying to monitor the program of that institution to see that we don't bring in more students than we can actually handle, so that we will be able to graduate, and have an output of qualified, good teachers that will come in, to help us in the state.
College of Education will go through the 2 stages of accreditation. The first one for the degree programs, which again is done by the National Universities Commission, and programs were presented, 5 of them, and 3 out of the 5 scaled through accreditation, while 2 of them, that is the physical and health education and the home economics, had a few areas of deficiencies that already the academic board of the college is working on that to ensure that we scale through the programs. And then the second leg of the accreditation is by the National Commission for Colleges of Education. The institution presented 28 programs for accreditation by the NCC, and again 27 of them came out without any shortcoming, and only 1 of them had an issue.
Most of our facilities were dilapidated. Our structures needed rehabilitation. There was no way we would have succeeded in that accreditation if not for the funds he released. And because of the release of those funds, we were able to fix our laboratories. We bought equipment. We ensured that the basic facilities that are needed in the laboratories were put in place. We renovated our library, renovated our offices, renovated our studios, we had to put a number of things in the hostel, especially as it has to do with water for the students. And not just that, prior to his coming, some of the hostels had no beds. And because of his support, we were able to construct over 300 beds, double bunks, from within. For the first time after so many years, he ensured that a diligent process of selection of a management to run the affairs of the college was put in place. We had to go through interview. He did some advert, went through interview, and he ensured that the cream of the management staff that we have on ground now were properly selected. Engineer Esule didn't just stop at that. Because of his concern for education, one of the very first things he did was to ensure that lecturers were employed in the college. Before his emergence, we had stayed for 10 years without employment in the college. We got to a time where the set of staff we had, we never had junior staff. We had lecturer through upward. We had no assistant lecturers. We had no lecturer 3 in the system. And it was already a very bad signal for the school. As soon as he came, we raised the cry, and he gave us approval to employ 316 lecturers. That is a very giant stride.
And with the coming of His Excellency Engineer Esule, he has approved funds for us to reaccredit some of our programs in 2020. So we had visitation of 5 programs. And from that, we seek for reaccreditation of 1 program, accreditation of 3 programs, and we seek for approval to mount additional program 1, making 5. So at the end of that, we're able to get full accreditation in 4 programs, and 3 programs, 1 interim, and approval to mount the 5th program. So the programs are this. We had HND agribusiness. We were given approval to commence that particular program. ND cooperative economics, we were given approval to start that particular program. We have ND forestry technology. We had accreditation on that particular program. Then we have ND, HND fisheries technology. That will also have full accreditation of those programs.
In order to rejig the College of Agriculture and make it more efficient, the state government transformed the institution to a College of Agriculture, Science and Technology.
So in addition to the agriculture program that we run to offer national diploma and higher national diploma in agriculture and related programs, we are now expanding to include other programs in science and engineering technology. So I can now give the people of Nasarawa State the opportunity to integrate the studies of agriculture with science and engineering technology, so that we can now go in line with the realities of today.
The State University got the lion's share of this revolution, as approval was given for the commencement of the Faculty of Medicine and Engineering in the institution.
For the Faculty of Engineering and the Medical Sciences, approval was granted to the university to recruit new staff for the programs. While the existing programs, we also identified the areas of needs, and approval was equally granted for the recruitment of the staff. And the first phase of the recruitment has been successfully completed, and the new staff assumed duty before the academic staff unions embarked on the strike action.
The 2 programs are very central for the socio-economic development of any society. And we have discovered that medicine in particular is not being offered in many of the universities. And there are many of our candidates who seek admission for these programs and they don't get. It was just recently that the Federal University Lafia started the medical program. And then we looked at that vis-a-vis also the manpower requirement in the health sector. We realized that there is some level of inadequacy of particularly medical doctors. And so we saw clearly the gap in terms of personnel, and we felt that there is a need to go in there as a university to support the state and the nation at large. Similarly, in the Faculty of Engineering, you will agree with us that, with me, that engineering is very central to the development of any society. In fact, the universities around us here, they don't offer engineering, including the newly established Federal University in Lafia. And so we thought that these are two critical areas that if the state university can set up these programs, they will help a lot in training manpower, they will help a lot in galvanizing the socio-economic development of Nasarawa State in particular.
Under the Abdullahi Sale's administration, priority has been given to the provision of information communication technology (ICT) centers across tertiary institutions.
The COVID-19 reality has introduced a new normal. And part of that new normal is online classes, is lectures that is not physically based, where all the students and the lecturers are there. And we have done a lot in that regard. In the ICT, part of what I have defined as a key component of my administration is to ensure that we have a robust ICT that will drive teaching, learning, and research. And through TEDFON, I'm happy to once again inform you that we have a very big ICT center. Very big ICT center. It has more than 1,000 seater capacity. And in that ICT center, we have computers in all the seats. And we have worked a lot to ensure that we have campus-wide interconnectivity.
Recently, the SA to the governor on ICT was here, and we took a look at some of the facilities we had on the premise that more will be done to boost the center. Because what we actually want to achieve is a situation where we can run e-exams. We can take e-lectures and the rest of it. And from the look of things, the governor is in support of all of that. For him to send his SA to come and talk with us, look at what we have, you know, he's already taken very vital steps to see how we can rejuvenate the sector in the school.
Students across the institutions are happy that the facilities aiding their learning process and placing them at a vantage position ahead of their contemporaries from other states.
Writing just the exams here has been easy. Like, it doesn't take time. Within 30 minutes, you're done. I think we usually have about 30 questions or thereabouts, and then there's a time for you to write the exam. You can just come in whenever you want to log in and then write your exams.
Yeah, my recommendation to them, the state government and the school management, for the provision of especially the free Wi-Fi that we are using and the computer they have been provided and the electricity. We have 24-hour constant electricity.
The state government has also ensured the automation of libraries across tertiary institutions. This is targeted at providing the needed materials for research and learning.
Our library is now fully We are online services. We provided online information services because 99% of the resources are on the virtual environment. We subscribe to about 3 specialized databases. Science Direct, it goes across all disciplines. We have access to it. We subscribe to EBSCOhost, academic search packet. We also subscribe to Springer. And most of the engineering resources you can ever think of, you will get it in the Springer database. And we equally have access to other free online databases where you can access and download free ebooks. Millions of ebooks without any stress, without you necessarily being in the library. All you need, just know the website of the Polytechnic Library.
Sandy Andrew and Taiwo John are postgraduate students of the Nasarawa State University, Kefi. They share their thoughts on how the library has been aiding their research works.
Whenever I come to the library, the environment alone is very serene. It makes me feel comfortable. And whenever I pick any book from the library, I'll be able to assimilate very well. And as you can see in the library, there are lots of very, very rich books that help me in my field. Whenever I come, I get a lot of materials. Indeed, there are lots of materials here that help me in my study.
The Abdullahi Sale's administration is not stopping at upgrading the infrastructure of these institutions. Only recently, it gave approval for the recruitment of academic and non-academic staff.
Approval was granted to the university preparatory to the improvement on the existing programs to recruit staff that are required for the programs, both the existing programs and the programs that the university has already put in their action plan.
In his bid to encourage students of tertiary institutions, Governor Abdullahi Sole consistently released funds for scholarships and bursary in the state.
Engineer Abdullahi Sule is in his mantra of exceeding expectation. His major agenda or cardinal agenda is the transformation of education sector. And he intends to do that through encouraging the students to get courses with specific focus on science and technology that will be able to enable them come back and give multiplying effect in the state. And since I came, there has already approval on ground for student bursary.
Science and technical education is gradually getting its pride of place under the Abdullahi Sule's administration. The administration believes that the sector has the capacity to create employment opportunities for the ever-growing young population in the state. This informs why the state government commenced the renovation of science and technical schools across the state.
We have 3 technical colleges in the school and 9 science secondary schools in the state. For now, we have been able to work on one of the technical colleges by upgrading the facilities, renovating the available buildings, that is the Government Science and Technical College, SIQ. Generally, we have been able to upgrade the facilities in the school, and we've also been able to provide some practical items so that these students can have access to practicals. For the other 2 secondary schools, even though we are still working towards renovation and upgrading of the facilities, we have also been able to provide materials for the students to enable them carry out practicals in the school, because the practicals are very important. That is what makes the technical schools different from the other conventional secondary schools. The science secondary schools, we've been able to renovate some of these schools, like the government science secondary school here in Lafia. And if you go to science secondary school at Nasarawa, you also see that some work has been done in the school. We've been able to fence the school. And we have also been able to provide science equipment for the conduct of practicals to especially these 9 science schools and other science secondary schools in the state, where they are able to have basic equipment for the conduct of practicals in the key science areas, biology, physics, and chemistry.
Government Technical and Science College, ASAQ, is one of the schools that is recently undergoing maintenance, courtesy of the renewed efforts of the state government.
I thank God for the intervention of the able governor, Engineer Abdullahi Sule. He renovated our examination assembly hall, a block of 2 classrooms and an office, and the 3 hostels, including borehole. They have sunk a new borehole, and with this, it has gone a long way to improve the learning activities in the school.
More attention is currently being paid to basic education in the state. In the last 3 years, the administration has put in place more than 200 blocks of classrooms through the state's Universal Basic Education Board.
Governor Abdullahi Alhaji Sule, when he came on board, I think we're having some few challenges that has to do with assessment of phones. He took it about by himself and went to UBEC at Abuja. The money we accessed for that time was that of last quarter of 2017 and 2018. Thereafter, he did not rest on his oars to see that we keep accessing this money so that we make provision of classrooms in our primary schools. And which I must say and commend him The only money that we are yet to access is that of 2022, which is on process.
The government has also ensured the provision of 51,000 units of furniture for pupils across the state.
You see, part of the expenditure using this matching grant is the provision of furniture in our schools. The leadership of Alhaji Abdullah Sule so far has provided over 51,000 units of furniture in our schools across the state. The last set that we are waiting the final supply so that they could be distributed to the schools, about 16,939 units. This is the last set. And for sure, in this 2022 intervention, once we access, we're going to provide another set of furniture too.
The recruitment of trained teachers is not taken with levity by the state government.
Government has also recruited additional teachers in these critical areas, in the sciences, that is physics, chemistry, biology, geography, and the technical subjects. We have also employed additional teachers for mathematics and English language so that we can enhance the teaching and learning of these science and technical subjects in our schools.
Like in the primary schools, teachers' recruitment is a sole responsibility of the local government chairman, even though in collaboration under the supervision of SUBEB. When it is time for the recruitment, we'll go there or we'll send our representatives to go and sit down and look at the process to ensure that qualified teachers are being recruited.
The governor is also sustaining the free education policy of his predecessor and providing free educational materials for pupils across the state.
The government is still operating free education in our primary schools. The governor is doing his best to improve education in Nasarawa State. He has made education his own priority right from the time he ascended the office of the governor of Nasarawa State.
This uncommon transformation is a clear indication that the administration of Governor Abdullah Sule is leaving no stone unturned in repositioning the education sector in Nasarawa State. And that's our package from the solid mineral state, where Governor Abdullah Sule is meeting the aspirations of the people and exceeding all expectations. Until I come your way, same time, same station next week. It's bye for now.